Hello, my name is Mousa, and my magazine's name is Roomba. This is my magazine, my front cover, contents page, and my double page spread. From a survey that I've done, asking if my three pages look from the same magazine, most of the people have said yes. I just want to my magazine is aimed at young people, not necessarily students, between the age of 15 up to 30 that are into hip-hop culture. I chose this audience group because I am part of it, and because after collecting responses from an initial survey, I found out that most of the people that answered my survey liked hip-hop music. In my contents page, I tried to keep an urban design using a set of cool colors and fonts. I've used pictures of the main artists. Again, they are both in a very hip-hop identifying poses. The middle of the page is used to lead readers to the main features and articles of the magazine by laying out all the articles included behind the page number they are on. I used a few pictures taken out of the articles to give the readers a taste of what to expect. This design hasn't got any direct reference to any other contents page, but it's more of a mix of many contents pages I've looked at and I was inspired by. This is my double page spread. My double page spread is designed in a really urban ghetto style. I've used very dark colors for the background together with a brush that shows a set of flash which gives a sort of rough, edgy look. I've also used big block letters that spread across the top of the page with the name of the article. I've used two pictures of the artists and placed them on each side, again looking cool and kind of dangerous. The writing is in light grey to contrast the dark green and black behind it. I've asked people if my magazine was easy to read, and out of 16 people, 7 said yes, very easy to read. I think that's 8 said yes, not bad, and 1 hater said unreadable. Now onto the questions. In what way does your media product use, develop, or challenge forms and conventions of real media projects? I believe that my magazine resembles similarities with the source, which has also been a strong reference during this project. Both of the magazines use mainly the left part of the page to attract the buyer with cover lines. In my magazine, the group's name spreads across the whole page instead of being at the left. Just like the source, my magazine uses strong contrast colors in order to stand out. My slogan is over the masthead instead of below as is in the source. And both magazines have the extras on the right side under the title plus, although I have tried something unusual by laying the words in vertical order rather than horizontal. My barcode and date line is on the bottom right instead of the bottom left as it is in the source. And the colors I've chosen for this cover were trying to represent the Spanish flag, because in this edition the main artist happened to be Spanish. How does your media product represent particular social groups? This magazine intended target audience are young people between 15 and 25, but in some cases reaching up to 30-year-olds. Out of this demographical group, those who are into urban music are the ones most likely to buy the magazine. The magazine is meant to represent a sort of urban rebellious vibe for music lovers. Although it is representing an urban vibe, it includes both underground and mainstream artists because it is more genre-based. The main genre I wanted to represent was hip-hop, although this genre is being affected and being crossed with many other genres and sounds. As you can see in my double page spread, my main article is about the mix between hip-hop and house music. And then these are again 2 questions of my survey. Do you feel like your magazine is more for boys or girls? 6 people have said that it's just boys, and then 9 people have said both, which was kind of what I wanted and expected. And then asking about to which age group my magazine was aimed at, I got 100% from 15 to 30, which is quite a big range, but I'm happy for that result. What kind of media institution might distribute your media project and why? I personally believe that my magazine would mainly be sold at news agents and music stores. It could also be sold over the internet on places like theissue.com. And by investigating what other people thought through a questionnaire, these were the results. Basically, people asked people where would they think that it would be sold. And most people said music stores, which I imagined. Then second place is news agent, then the internet, and gigs and festivals. Actually, gigs and festivals before the internet. It could also be sold through IPC.
So they would actually distribute it to WH Smith, would they, the IPC?
Yeah, they would. Not just WH Smith, any news agent. How did you attract your audience? Include evidence of audience feedback. My strategy to attract my audience was through a cool design, bringing unusual fonts, which I found on the internet, onto my cover. By using interesting extras and by offering a free album download link, I would attract people to buy it. A magazine is much cheaper than an album. One important factor of my magazine is that the main picture is not too flashy. The artists are not wearing makeup and are just normal people who do music. I think that this fact makes people relate to the magazine's content and will awaken interest. The style and poses the artists have can easily be related to the hip-hop scene, since they are both looking really cool and maybe even a bit vain, which is something typical among artists of this genre. People might look up to them and want to be like them. I'm quite pleased with the appearance of my front cover. I think it looks semi-professional and, more importantly, interesting. When I asked people what was their first impression of my magazine, most people said it was very good. One person said it was perfect, and 4 people said it was mainly good. So I got really good feedback. What have you learned about technologies from the process of constructing this product? Before I started the course, I didn't have any idea of Photoshop, and I was almost helpless without the teacher. Slowly I started learning how certain tools worked and how to modify the size of a picture, how to organize layers, light intensity, modification, background colors, brushes, and other things. I started feeling quite comfortable with this program, and I'm confident to use what I know and try new things. I've tried new things on my own and very often went on YouTube and watched tutorials on how to do certain tasks. Apart from Photoshop, I learned a little bit more about PowerPoint, and I also learned how to use slideshow, which I had no idea before starting the course. Looking back at your preliminary task, what do you feel you have learned in the progression from it to the full product? Well, this is my first magazine, my college magazine, and that's my music magazine, and I think it's obvious that I've learned quite a bit. In my first project, I didn't have hardly any idea of Photoshop, nor did I have knowledge of how to attract an audience to an image, or how to design or use colors in the right way. My first project was basically just a picture with some text and other pictures on top of it, such as logos and maybe their barcode. From that to my final project, I have learned a lot about Photoshop, using different tools and the essential designing skills on how to make something stand out, using the right colors and really managing to get my idea onto the design as I wanted. In this project, I've applied all my skills and I'm really happy with what has come out of it. And that's the end.